You know who made it.
And we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. It's Revening's weekly Wednesday. Welcome to show, revenue party people. We've got really hot topics, really real topics. And we've got our hot prizes and our hot guests, who I'm going to introduce you to here in just a second. But let me get through my little bit. Big thank you to High Level and Cherry Assistant for making this show possible. Big thanks to Sabrina, who it helps to put it all together. She is with Cherry Assistant, and I couldn't do it without them. But Cherry Assistant, they do more than everything you see them do for me with creating these images and all this stuff. They help with sales and data entry and all types of things. You'll see the menu during the intermission on their ad, but check it out because it's great to have someone who can help you with some of the busy work. So big thanks to Sabrina for making this episode possible and Cherry Assistant for sponsoring. Also, big thanks to High Level. So High Level is doing some really cool things. So they're doing a workshop. And this workshop, I wrote about it in my newsletter. Does everyone here get my newsletter? Let me know if you don't. Just go to reveting.com and you can subscribe. But basically, they are for free to a few people if it's not already filled up, because it literally just opened today. They're doing like one-on-one setup of your High Level, and you can do it with a free trial. And they're going to help you get your first customer. Like, that's the whole goal. They're building your process. So I have an exclusive link. I can put it in the comments here in a little bit, but that will get you registered if it's still open so that you can get that one-on-one support to set up your High Level. This is your website, your automation, AI, like all the things, CRM, marketing related. High Level, check it out. Also, like if you want an extended 30-day trial, hey, Dan, what's up? So good to see you watching from Long Island, New York. Whoa, hey. So 30-day free trial if you want to try out High Level. And if you do, let me know. I'll help you out with it because that's my affiliate link. Full disclosure, I get commission, so I benefit when you sign up. So I want to help you. But anyway, in addition to all of that, tonight we have some excellent prizes. So make sure you are entering to win throughout the full discussion. We'll give them away at the end of the show. One winner per prize. Make sure you tag High Level in the comments to enter to win this awesome swag pack with a couple t-shirts, water bottle, and a hat. Cherry Assistant will get you 10 free hours of a virtual assistant service. 10 free hours with a virtual assistant. I can't talk tonight, apparently. Hashtag headset will get you a free professional wireless headset from Headset Advisor. And this will allow you to be on your Zoom calls, but also like walk around your house. Anyone else being like stuck on their computer? What's up, Dan? I feel like it's a long time no see. You were in Ohio this summer. How did that go? I want to hear about it. Hopefully your daughter's doing well. Hashtag email will enter you to win the Lavender 1 year free with their pro plan. So Lavender is a Chrome extension that will help you with your cold email. It'll help you be concise. It'll underline things in terms of your tone, which I'm not always the best with tone. So it's a tool I really like, especially with cold emails when you're in that awkward position. Just put hashtag email to enter to win a free year with Lavender. And hashtag personal branding gets you 1 month free in my program. We're going over personal brand strategy, going deep, doing the inner work to figure out what do you want to be known for and who's going to help you accomplish your goals. So who's your audience? What's your message? And how are we going to go after it across channels, not just LinkedIn, but TikTok. I want to coach you on how to go live, how to sell on TikTok, all types of things. So get 1 month free by putting hashtag personal branding. Hashtag revenue is going to enter you to win Justin's gift. So Justin Peck is our guest tonight. You're going to meet him here in just a second. So hashtag revenue to enter to win. I'm going to let him explain this here in a second, but he put this book here and we've got hats and shirts. So I wrote about his book a little bit in the newsletter. I haven't read it yet, but there's a lot of information out there about it, and he's doing some really cool things. Plus, did I mention he's a race car driver? So anyway, here are all the keywords you need to be entering throughout the show to enter to win, because I want to bring these guests in. We have an episode planned for you tonight. It's real. We're getting into mental health. We want to help you be your own authentic self across channels to take up more space online as yourself. Hey, Randy, I feel like we haven't talked in forever. I need to reach out to Randy. We have to connect. But I'm going to bring in these guests. Let's get right into tonight's episode. Let me make room on the screen here. Welcome to the show, Nina and Justin Peck. So happy to have you here.
Hello, Jesse.
Nina,
hi, Jesse.
Hi, Justin. I didn't even try to pronounce your last name, but I think is it Jagannathan?
Yep, that's it.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So we have to do a hashtag Jagannathan and Jesse gets a prize. That's fine.
Oh, Jagannathan. Okay. Yeah, so everyone go follow our guests, but as you're going to follow them and check out their LinkedIn profiles, that's just their resume, right? We want to know in classic WinsDay style, who is the real you? We want to know what's not on the resume, what we can't find online. Where were you born and what brought you to now? But please just be kind to us and keep it under 2 minutes. We'll go ahead and do you mind kicking us off, Nina?
Great. Sure thing. And there's a timer. Perfect. So I was born in New York City, and but for the majority of my childhood was raised in Iowa. So that's its own other episode. And so I spent most of my career in tech. And so the past year or so, I've started pivoting towards more storytelling, story writing, B2B writing, and ultimately moving into my true love, which is like fictional writing and comedy. So this whole journey and everything I've learned since kind of officially leaving as an employee and having my own company, Wits End Studios, is kind of a testament to all of that.
You still have 1 minute and 10 seconds left,
I know,
Nina.
I know. I'm shy and demure. What do you want me to do? Anyway, so basically, yeah, what, the thing I hope to bring to this is talking about, the word authentic gets used so much, but like being raw, being real in your conversations and your posts and how you present yourself. Also, that it doesn't have to be sad or dire or serious. It actually can be funny too, because you show your personality that way. And I think in social media, especially in platforms such as LinkedIn and stuff, everyone is so worried about putting up this very professional, hard as nails front. And the thing is, you'll get more buy-in, you get more allegiance and connections and presence if you show who you really are. So yeah, I mean, that's key. And it's a lesson I'm learning because I'm kind of decorporatizing myself at the moment. So
decorporatizing yourself. I like that. I have a feeling we're going to be getting into that a little bit more with the last topic of corporate narcissism. But I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions. But before we get there, Justin, could you do the same? I'm going to put the 2-minute clock up and fill it up by telling us your life story. Like, where were you born and what brought you to now?
Well,
Hopefully not Iowa. Just kidding.
Not Iowa. So Justin Peck. I live in Utah, great state here. A lot of snow during the winter times and extremely hot during the summer. So I will start with a quote, and this will all kind of make sense as I go through the whole thing. But it's something that I've always kind of tried to live my life with. It's been kind of I guess you can say a compass. So anything in life worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for those people who don't believe in their abilities. I start that off for the reason that I've got to experience a lot of cool things in my life. I've been a professional race car driver for 30 something years. I wrote a book and hit the Amazon bestseller within 36 hours. I currently, I'm the founder of the National Mental Health Alliance, which is our 501c nonprofit. I own 2 medical data companies, and we go over a lot of toxicology and medication management. And the reason why I kind of went down that road, at least in 2020, is we're understanding that with the financial garbage that's going along in the world, that's affecting mental health. And when you start understanding that a lot of the financial crisis that we have has to do a lot with big pharma, big insurance, big governments, all the things that I'm sure most of the people listening are shaking their heads right now. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. I wrote the book. It's based on my life, a little bit of my racing history, but a lot on the mental health component. And yeah, it's a good read. I wrote it. I don't think I've actually read the whole thing, but it's a good read.
Well, that's incredible. Thank you so much for being here, Justin, and talking to us about these important topics because, we are mostly sales and marketers here at the show and those in the comments, which, by the way, if you're watching, let us know, like, what industry are you in? What is your role? Who are we talking to tonight? Because I just assume based on generalities of who usually attends, but people in sales and marketing often deal with mental health issues because of the pressure. There's a lot of black and white. There's a lot of numbers. If you're not hitting your numbers, there's a lot of feeling inadequate. There's a lot of failing. We fail a lot, especially in sales. You only win a very little bit of the time, and you have to just have that gumption to keep going. But a lot of the time, what you see in sales and marketing is a facade, and we're not showing what's truly behind the curtain, what's going on behind us. So could you kick us off with our first topic, which is expert insights, medications, toxicology, and mental health? And this show used to be called Whiskey Wednesday. And,
Right.
I think that, a lot of salespeople, a lot of marketers, they use different substances to cope with a lot of these mental health issues. So this really is speaking right to this audience. So feel free to just get right into the raw, true stuff.
Okay, well, I can definitely do that. So when it comes to, since you brought it up, let's talk about substances a little bit. Through my experiences, and I've been through all ends of the substance abuse line, other than a rehab center, which I probably should have went. But I was an addict 30 something years ago. I've seen both sides of it. I've had my youngest brother overdosed at the age of 20. So I understand the substance side of things. And one of the big key things that I've noticed is people don't search for a drug of choice. People don't search for an opiate or an amphetamine or alcohol or any of those type of things. People search for a feeling, right? So that feeling of choice that you get ultimately turns into what substance you decide to choose. The issue that we have with that is on the medication side, on the medication adherence, if you go to your doctor and you're prescribed an SSRI, some type of medication to help your mind, it's been proven that 67% of the people that are prescribed these medications don't take them. They lie to their doctor, and depending on the mental state of the patient, that could actually turn into a profit machine for these people. Real quick, a little bit of an idea of what goes on in this country, and a lot of people don't understand it, which is pretty frustrating, honestly, is you'll get a patient that will go into his doctor, say that they need an X, Y, or Z drug, right? And I'll drop a medication. Let's say trazodone. For those of you that don't know what trazodone is, it's used a lot for sleep. So what people will do is they'll go into their doctor, they'll get the prescription to trazodone, but that's not the feeling that they like. So they'll take that prescribed medication, they'll take it to their drug dealer, they'll trade that drug, their trazodone, for their opiate or their methamphetamine. That's how that's paid. Then once that patient is almost out, he'll go back again to the doctor. So it's a revolving cycle of insurances, doctor visits, co-pays, and it's killing the medical industry. It's killing who we are as a country. The mental health side of things, and it's such a massive topic, and I'm sure that anybody who's listening will understand that it's a massive topic. So I would like to, if anything, I would like to have people ask questions on the mental health side, because I can talk about any of it. I've experienced most of it. The only thing I probably haven't experienced is postpartum, because I'm a man. No babies here. But the mental health side of things, when it comes to workplace environments, and even as an employer, as a marketing rep, as someone who's running their own gig, if you're not in the right mental space, there's an issue and there's a struggle. And so it's trying to find how you can win the mental game on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you for sharing that. And I think I probably had undiagnosed postpartum depression, but I've had 2 kids, and really, I mean, your life completely changes. So
Yes.
and you lose a lot of freedoms, and it's something that a lot of women go through and no one talks about. I
Yes.
was probably not even properly, I wasn't even diagnosed, but I go look back at those times that I was in some deep, dark places, and nobody knew, because I was just by myself on maternity leave, breastfeeding my baby on the couch. Like,
Right.
that was all I did, and I was by myself. So yeah, I digress. But Nina, I saw you nodding a lot during a lot of this, especially like when he was talking about how kind of messed up it is in our country, right? And like how a lot of people just don't know all the crap. Like, what were you thinking when he was saying that?
Well, actually, there are a lot of stuff that Justin said resonated with me, just in terms of friendships I've had with people that they have to turn to doing these type of exchanges because the medication they're given isn't effective, or their insurance doesn't cover it, and a variety, and then also societal pressure as well as judgment in terms of the fact that they actually probably do need help, but it's looked down on as you're weak. It's looked down as, there's still a lot of that in society, and it's really disappointing. And people then go to these measures and then they get judged for it. Well, they're just a druggie, or they're just this, or they're just bored, when it could, in most cases, run a lot deeper than that. And to Justin's point also, that's why it's important to talk about those things, especially on these larger platforms such as LinkedIn and whatnot. It isn't, because this, I'm sure, permeates with a lot of people, and like they all have a story. They all know somebody, and it isn't just, something I watched on Dateline. It's actually something that they can tell by 1 or 2 degrees of separation, or something in their own, family or themselves. And that type of, reality and rawness and gives the people reading it, okay, I don't feel alone. I don't feel like there's something wrong with me. And I think
Yeah,
that's key.
totally. So we got a couple questions in here in comments. So we have Valiant Thor. He said, there's been so much secrecy and disinformation over the last 100 years that it's become impossible to prove anything in the face of official denial. I think he said that when you were talking
right. Can I make a comment to that one? So the secrecy and the disinformation, and this is not a political rant, right? So I don't talk about, I call it the 3 Ps. I don't talk about politics, politics, profits, or pills. Those are the things that I don't really talk about. But what I will say, though, is the secrecy and the disinformation that goes along within this country, it literally has been over 100 years. We have lost an entire century. The amount of technology and knowledge that we had in the early to late 1800s is unbelievable, but it's always stifled by the people that I really do hate to call out the big dogs in the game, but they're all there. We all know, right? So, for example, some of the secrecies, some of the things that people don't understand. If you were to walk into a pharmacy and you wanted to go buy a bottle of vitamin C before you picked up your prescription, you would walk over to the vitamin aisle and you could see 5 or 6 different brands of vitamin C, all with prices on them, right? Everybody shake their head. Yes, that's what we do. Then you go to the actual pharmacist, right? And if you ask them that same question, how much is it? Well, your copay is $20. No. How much is the medication? They don't even know. What ends up happening is there's a thing called pharmacy benefit managers. And what they are, these are people that negotiate the prices with big pharma in lieu of the insurance company. So the insurance company sets the price and then they refuse to pay it. Where does that make any sense whatsoever?
Yeah.
It's just, it's collusion to the, oh man, I'm starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist here. That's not,
that's okay. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories to be had because at the end of the day, this country and many countries around the world are not taking mental health seriously. Correct. So there's no system, there's no process. So we have nothing but to conspiracize about all of this because why are the police called when there's a mental health breakdown? It's just crazy. But I digress because, we have some more comments. I want to get to Dan's and we need to get to the next topic. But real quick, Dan said or asked, do you think the cost of medication and therapy made worse by big insurance and big pharma has made mental health problems even worse in the US because people can't afford the care? I think that's exactly the problem. I know people who would go if they could afford it. It's ridiculous you can't get it covered.
Well, and seriously, if you look over what the pay rates and the insurance rates and what Medicaid pays for, and each state across the board, it blows my mind away that mental health is one of those things that people are just like, oh, it's just in your head.
It's cosmetic.
Oh shit, it's in your head. It's your brain. It's mental health. That's what it's about. It should be at the forefront of everything because if the brain controls our function from top down, then we should want to be able to fix our brains. Not saying that anybody's brain's broke. Mine's goofy as goofy, right? And I get that, but I love it. It's made me the man I am today. And it's been a ride for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And going to therapy is already hard enough for some people, and then on top of it, you have the cost of it. It's just why would I do it if I don't want to do it? And then I have to pay a lot, but I digress. There's no shame in going to therapy, especially in sales and marketing. It will help you grow people. You are becoming a better version of yourself when you take care of your mind. Let's get into the second topic. So storytelling. We're going to transition a little bit over here with Nina and about sharing the raw truths. So a lot of you here, a lot of us are putting ourselves out there online. When we put ourselves out there online, we kind of put ourselves out there in front of other people who may not have our best interests. And it may end up causing a lot of anxiety and nerves and other things. But there's a way to do it that's raw and truth in a way that you just don't give a F about the haters. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Nina. Could you talk to us about all of this?
Yeah. So, I mean, actually, it segues really well with what Justin was talking about in terms of when you write, from your heart, from who, and from your values and what you care about and your story and your journey. And you do that in a way, it becomes teachable. It becomes, you're doing it to help other people. It isn't like, oh, I had a bad day and, I ran over my cat and I'm going to talk about it. Well, I mean, unless there's some lesson to be said, but there is a way to talk about the struggles in your life and what you're going through, and asking people, does this sound familiar to you? Let me know in the comments, all that good stuff, and building that community and building your people, if you will, and getting people to and the more that gets done, the less of a stigma, I'm hoping. I mean, it's already starting, but we have a long way to go, because like LinkedIn, again, I keep bringing up LinkedIn. It's like the platform that's using it to its like fullest ability is less than 10%. And it's a huge platform, but it's getting more and more people to share their stories, share their failures, and not the humble brag stuff like, oh, well, I can't, I keep doing this, but I keep failing, but I keep, winning these accounts anyway. Like, it giving something that isn't valuable. And the thing is, if you show like true lessons and true obstacles and things that, you realize that there's some issue when you're a child that you're still dealing with, or who you keep attracting in terms of clients and in terms of companies that you work for. And is there a vibe that there's a lot of depth and richness that can be made to these posts and to your storytelling, and even how you present yourself to clients, and to show that you're a real person and you're not there just calculating the number, or like the dollar commission amount in your head, and that's all your client is, dollar signs. That you actually want to create a relationship. And what better way that to show the kind of person you are to work with is someone who is able to express and put out there their truth. And that needs to be done.
Yeah, totally. Oh, let me make sure I don't cover up your face here, Nina, and get Justin back in here too. So yeah, I love what you said about just uncovering your truth and how you kind of tied it back into everything else we were talking about. But to kind of pass it over to you, Justin, I'm curious, like, what's your take on storytelling and just in general with like, sharing some of your raw truths out there to make it more relatable to people?
Well, for me, and so when I speak and when I talk, when I'm on stage, when I'm doing interviews, when I'm podcasting, any of those type of things, at the very first, when I started doing this, I would always write down things that I wanted to say, good key points. Like I actually would even try to prep when it came to speaking, right? That's not me. I physically can't do that. And so I wing it from the second that I'm on stage to the second that I'm off. The reason why I feel like I can do that is because I do speak my truth. I get that I'm a goofy guy, right? I get that I've had suicide attempts. I get that the people that know me, the people that really know me, I'm a handful, and I know that. I know that. But they also know that I'm open, I'm raw, I'm honest, I'm transparent. I'll tell you the things that you don't want to hear. And at the end of the day, it comes down to if you don't have enough confidence in yourself to be proud of who you are, then maybe you should start looking into that before you start posting things. Suggestion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I don't know. This is such a good topic. I'd love to hear from the audience. Like, what are your guys' take on this? Like, do you feel like you can share your raw truths, or do you feel like sometimes people share too much raw truth on social media? Shoot, like, but like, how can it be done in a tactful way? I would just love to hear what the audience is thinking here on storytelling. But could you wrap us up on this topic with some actionable tips, maybe, Nina? Like, what can we do if we're feeling kind of stuck within ourselves, but we know we want to be our real selves? Like, we want to take off all the fakeness. We want to just be ourselves, but sometimes it's hard because we got bosses and everyone else breathing down our necks.
Couple of good prompts that I use on occasion are, one is like the tried and true lessons that you wish you knew 5 years ago. What are things that, if you can look back, and those are things that you can, um, um, that you wish that you were able to know, that you had knowledge of, that you were like, oh, well, yeah, I was so worried about X, Y, and Z, when it actually really ended up being not a big deal. And those type of lessons, those are things to talk about, because that opens up a whole can of like authenticity in terms of what you learned, and things that, once again, your truths. And same with also that I always like to do the reverse, is things that your 5-year-old self would tell you now, like the things that you've forgotten about, the things that used to light you up when you're a child, the thing that, nothing is like cooler than seeing like how excited a small child gets on the smallest things, like a flower or like a rain or anything, like a bird. And that, like, absolute like awe of things, and remembering what that person was like, and reminding you now of what that used to be and how you can get it back again. And those two angles usually are kind of helpful in bringing up stuff that, maybe other people can understand, would be able to relate to, and maybe learn also about themselves, and encourage them to do that kind of introspective thinking, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, that makes sense. And it's a great point. Dan says, I think it's really powerful when people on social media that we see successful and invincible share their mental health challenges. Like, you doing this is really making an impact to other people, and you may not know it. And we've got 2 more hot topics. So our next hot topic is tech aids compliance, new systems to improve patient adherence, and corporate narcissism. We're going to be getting into both of these topics right after these messages.
Can you check these emails? Wait, I need to write the script. Oh my god, I forgot to schedule all my content last week.
I know the chaos of running a one-person business can feel too much sometimes. Carry Assistant has become my secret weapon to success. Having an actual niche assistant has been so game-changing. But since bringing on one of their virtual assistants, they have been handling all my nitty-gritty tasks, from DMing people on my socials to following up with leads, even doing the cold outreach for me. Plus, they help with all the tedious admin tasks like managing emails, scheduling appointments, reminding me of appointments. Just imagine the time that you're going to have when you have an actual niche virtual assistant helping you with all these things. So with your assistant, you're never going to have to worry about the little things again. You get on a call with them. That way they can actually gauge your business needs, and they're going to help you fill the gaps. You go to cherrysystem.com, you can get on a call with one of them, and they're going to help you find your person. Now you can actually finally free up some time to focus on building your empire.
I want to show you how to do a voicemail drop. And voicemail drops can be really creative ways to reach your audience. And, many of us are spending a lot of time on the phone making calls, but hey, I'm here over in marketing to report that you can do a mass voicemail drop. And let me show you how. Log into my account here, Reveting. The hard part about any campaign is knowing your audience and knowing what you're going to say to them. Yeah, definitely check out Lead Magic if you haven't already. So what I love about Lead Magic is their lead scraper. You can see that right here. Also, another thing are the technographics. Then import that into High Level. So High Level for me, it's white labeled. It's app.reveting.com. So when you go in here, you're going to want to, you can get your contacts in here however you want, with the ones that you want to do the voicemail drop with. Once you know who you're sending your voicemail drop to, create a new workflow from scratch. and you can add in your trigger, which would be the tag that you add. For me, and for this example, I'll go ahead and say tag added, and it will be anyone who downloads my free LinkedIn 5-day challenge workbook that's on my LinkedIn page. And if you get that, we'll go ahead and wait just for a minute, save action, and then we're going to do voicemail. All right, so now I need to get a voicemail and I need an audio file. And luckily I have this just like free online tool. You can go to 123apps or online-voice-recorder.com. You can see it on the screen. And I am just going to record a voicemail. Hey, it's Jessie Lezak. Wanted to follow up with you about the 5-day challenge workbook and course that you downloaded and see what you thought of it, if you've had a chance to complete it, and how I can support you on your journey to LinkedIn growth. Give me a call back anytime. My cell phone number is 510-335-9355. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. We'll move this in a little bit. Move that in just a tad. Save. Open so I can't see. So here is my recording. There it is. It's loading. Hey, it's Jessie Lezak. Wanted to follow up with you about the 5-day challenge workbook and course that you did. And that's how people will get into the voicemail drop. And I think you should try a voicemail drop too. And if you would like some support on that, I would love to help you. Just give me a call. You already heard my number in the recording, 510-335-9355, or you can email me at Jessie, just my first name, JESSIE @reveting.com. That's REVETING.com. Hope to help you with your voicemail drop here soon. Big thanks to High Level, and I will be at their summit October 4th, and I will be speaking. I'm a part of the top affiliate panel, so come on out to Dallas, y'all. But I digress. Let's get into this next topic, tech aid compliance. Okay, so you have to explain this to me because I'm not even sure I follow. What is tech aided compliance and the new systems to improve patient adherence? Like, is this what we need to do to fix mental health, Justin?
Yes. Yes. This is, so I have cracked the code up, down, right, left, triggers, the PlayStation code. We have cracked the code on how to actually help people with their mental problems, with the insecurities, with the issues, with the disorders. So I'll first start off with, let's go over a little bit of a story time type thing. This is kind of a hypothetical for everybody that's listening. Imagine that you're a therapist sitting behind me as a speaker, in front of your group in a rehab center. So you've got 40 or 50 people that are sitting in front of your group. This is stuff that I do constantly. I really, really enjoy speaking at prisons, at rehab facilities, at any of the places that people struggle with. Well, what you can watch is while I'm speaking and while I'm going through my presentation, you can. So typically, what I do is I'll talk to the therapist and I'll ask them to make notes, to watch their group, to see what's going on in the group. So at the end, imagine if a therapist could go through that piece of paper and they could say, well, Johnny was sleeping in the corner, and then Jessica, she was bouncing off the walls. Right now, there's really no way to test immediately what's in their system immediately. You can always do the POC cups. POC stands for point of care. We've all probably seen those at Walmart, Walgreens, wherever, right? And they are a drug testing mechanism that is widely used across the planet. The problem is they're not accurate at all. The false negatives, false positives, they're all over the place. And so what we ended up figuring out is to create a system where you don't have to pee in a cup anymore. Non-invasive way of drug testing. And what it is it's this little device. This little device here. This is going to change everything about what we do. What this part here is, this is a swab. It has chemicals on the insides. You swab your mouth, both sides, and then underneath the tongue for 60 seconds. And then after that, you'll take them and you'll slide them in these units right here, and they'll slide it all the way down. And then it will instantly read what you have in your system right at that exact moment. So it's the snapshot of what's actually going on in your body. Where that comes to value is when you start having the therapist look at the group and seeing different behaviors. Now they can pull Johnny out. They can pull Jessica out of group and say, hey, can we just talk to you just for a second? You can walk them out into the hall, do the test real quick, and then send them back into group, non-evasive. Then what you can do with that information is explain to them that this isn't a gotcha moment. This isn't, you're not going to go back to jail. You're not losing your kids. You're not going to go down the bad path. But this gives the patient the opportunity to actually come clean and be truthful with their rehab. So through the technology side, this device here, again, like I showed before, right? This actual device, we've got markers that can test all the RSV, so COVID, flu, pneumonia, those type of things. We have a massive panel of substances, anything from mental health medications to all the illicits. We have cancer markers that can detect certain cancers in your system. And then the big one for me, well, it's the second big one. The first big one, of course, is the substance side, but they've also got a concussion protocol. So when I would drive and crash in a race car, there's no way to really know if I was good to get back into that race car. Or think of football, right? Think about the high school kid that is on the line, took a massive hit, and they're not quite sure whether to send him back in the game or not. With this thing, you can know if that kid's good enough to play within 60 seconds. So what it ultimately does is these are new systems, and this is new technology that's being implemented right now. It is going to change everything as long as the powers that be let us. We're finding that the government they want what we have. They see the value of it, but they kind of want to stifle you. They want to put you on the back burner and not really talk too much. So we're working on that. But the technology part, when it comes to medication adherence, when it comes to patient compliance, all of those things, the technology is really, really where it's coming. That's it.
So that's all. That was a really good demo. I'd never seen one of those things that
you haven't. We actually just got FDA clearance 3 weeks ago. So
oh wow, congratulations!
And it is an amazing product. So the doctor that actually invented it, we've got 217 patents on this thing, and the doctor who invented it figured out a way to put a cleaning solution inside the swab, so it actually cleans the saliva while before the test actually goes through. So you know that, like, you can't beat the tests. When you start looking at urine tests, it's a $1.6 billion industry for fake urine. People don't understand that. It is a massive industry. People will reverse cath. Yes, I said that, reverse cath. They will cath themselves and force urine back into their body so they can go do a witness test. Yeah, I do the same thing. Yeah, it is a thing, but I'm not joking. It's
or so they can go get a sales job or a marketing job.
Something, right? Something.
I see you all out there, with your fake pee. No, I'm just kidding.
So, but I understand that. I understand the beating the test side of things. It's not fun to have to worry about having to beat a test. But with this system that we have now, you can't beat it. So what does that do ultimately, right? Again, it's not the gotcha moment. We can take this now, and I mean, we've got our units in patrol cars right now that can test for alcohol. So now when someone's pulled over, instead of doing the breathalyzer or any of the other garbage, they can do just a quick swab. And then if they want to fight those results, that's what the second side was for. It's a lock mechanism, and then they can take that, send it to a lab through an LCMS machine, and actually break it down to the molecular level, so you know exactly what was in their system. So if cannabis pops, right, if you're pulled over and cannabis pops, but you have your weed card and you smoke at night, you shouldn't get a DUI for that at all. So if they write you a DUI, now you can take this and send it to a lab, have them confirm how much of the alcohol substance was in your body at that exact moment in time. And then if it goes too high, then you get the DUI. If it's not, then you're free and clear.
That's incredible.
Again, it's not a gotcha thing. We're not trying to put the fear of anybody.
Right.
This is a help. This is something that helps add personal responsibility to people.
Yeah, totally. Because the breathalyzer doesn't pick up a lot of things.
No, it doesn't.
And I want to get your reaction to some of this, Nina. What's your take on it?
I mean, I think it's fantastic. I mean, it would also, I would see applications for if some medications that you're prescribed for actually are working. Everyone metabolizes medications differently.
Right.
So it could be used for that in that use case as well. Like, okay, this particular, cholesterol medication, and there's particular like a Ozempic type of thing or whatever, or like, a Zoloft or any SSRI or anything like that, that is it actually being absorbed? What is the level that you need to be at to know that it is actually being effective? And that would be also something that that could be a great use for it, because everyone's like, well, I know a lot of people that are on medications and they're like, well, you're on this dose, you should be feeling better.
Right.
Like,
Oh my God.
I saw that squint, that hate squint. It's like, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I do that hate squint a lot, Justin.
To even to add a little bit onto that, I was going to add a little bit onto that, but I forgot what I was going to say. That's welcome to my life. That's part of me. So, anyway, yeah, sorry. That thought completely went away. It will come back later.
That's okay. Apparently my mic was a little bit far away. Thank you, Erica, for letting me know in the private chat. It was like sitting over here. So if I sounded weird to anybody, it's because I didn't even have my mic by me. But I digress. Let's get into our fourth topic, corporate narcissism. So there is some corporate narcissism out there. And this narcissism word is like a buzzword these days, right? Like all over TikTok. We've got the impact of the narcissism like debates. But let's talk about corporate narcissism. Nina, can you talk to us about that? And when companies, let's not say it, but I will, exploit their employees?
So I'm going to start with my own hashtag, not all corporations, just make that clear. But in this past year or so, and I've noticed this a little bit even before that, I've had the opportunity to get a lot of people have contacted me and they're asking for career advice, or they're asking me what to do next. And, they feel they're stuck and all that good stuff. And one thing I've noticed is a similar pattern with the way some employees are treated by their direct manager, by the leadership, by the corporation in general. And it does, in some cases, very closely mimic how a narcissist treats their, for lack of a better word, victim. So, for instance, if you're familiar with narcissistic abuse at all, it has this overall pattern. And obviously it's not textbook and everyone doesn't do exactly this way, but there are definite markers that a narcissist would do to bring their person in. And it always is that same line that you hear, well, why didn't he leave her? Why didn't she leave him? And then you now turn it to, well, why are you still staying at the job? Why are you still with that boss? Why don't you try to transfer? Why don't you get another, or get a promotion somewhere else? Or it's that same mindset that the way some companies treat their employees, you get to the point where you start off with, it's the first thing that narcissists do is called idealization or love bombing. And they bring you in, oh, we're so happy you're here. And I mean, in both cases, so the narcissist will do that to the person they're targeting. And it's nobody's ever made me feel that way before. And all this lovey-dovey, sweep that person off their feet and, you are, the sun rises and sets on you, and all this lovely language. And same with companies. Companies then with a brand new employee would be like, you are exactly what we're looking for. You are going to totally revolutionize everything. We are so happy you're here. And you start thinking, okay, this is the company that I'm going to spend the rest of my career at. And you are set, and it's honeymoon and roses and all that good stuff, until it's not. And until they start, promoting other people. And so that's called triangulation, and start devaluing your work. And, well, you did this one silly thing, and so, we don't have the budget for you, but all of a sudden this other person gets a promotion. And the more stories I hear from people, the more I'm seeing these parallels that some companies do. And ultimately the end state is that employee feels that they just can't do any better than where they're at. And they're too afraid to go somewhere else because it'll be the same thing, or nobody's going to like me. And you know what? I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm going to be grateful I have what I have, and I'm just going to be quiet. And I hear that from people over and over again. And from all types of industries, all types of companies, small, large, whatever. And it's actually very sad. And I see a lot of people feel that they just are so devalued that I'm never going to do it well anywhere else. So I'm grateful of a job. Whatever crumb they give me, I'll take, and I'll be happy, and I'll shut up. And that's pretty much and so seeing those parallels and looking at it through those lenses, then you start wondering, are you in that position too? Are you truly happy where you're at, or are you settling? And what's stopping you from going somewhere else or going to a different team? You don't have to leave the company. Okay, you're here for this many years, and you have like a pension, for instance, or you have something that keeps you there, then I get it. But understanding how you're being treated and what to do to recognize that and figure out some actionable next steps that get you out of that position.
That's you're so right. Like,
Yes.
when you're talking about the breadcrumbs. Yeah. What were you going to say, Justin?
No, go ahead. I was just saying she nailed it. So
Totally. Yeah. It's so on point. And I want to hear from the audience too. Like, what stood out to you? Because what stood out to me was the part about how they give you the little breadcrumbs just to like kind of keep you there. And yeah, that is.
I'll get the promotion next year. That's she's gonna, she promised she'll never do that again. It's like, it's Lifetime TV sometimes when you hear all these, exactly. You see her, and a lot of times, I hear these stories and I'm seeing the patterns, and I was like, that's really, really upsetting because they're too scared to leave. And
that is really sad.
It gives a different glance about like why people don't leave toxic relationships. Your relationship can be with your company, with your team, with your partner.
Well, at the end of the day, there's money. It's an actual money transaction. So if you go in and you don't get paid, you don't buy the gallon of milk and the bread that you need for your kids, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's like they're almost taking your lifestyle hostage.
Yes.
For me, just to add my little 2 cents for whatever it's worth, maybe 2 cents, is that this grooming has been going on for 100 years. Look at Pierpont Morgan. Look at Thomas Edison. Look at what those guys did to Nikola Tesla. Tesla worked for both of these guys. Most people don't know that. Actually research the story. Talk about the ultimate narcissism, right? I mean, Thomas Edison he did good for the country. Tesla was better. But Tesla ended up dying at the age of 87 in a motel with nothing to his name, and Edison is Edison, right? I mean, when you look at Edison and General Electric, that's one of the top 5 companies on this planet that run this planet. Start looking at JP Morgan, Pierpont Morgan, another company that pretty much runs this planet. It started so long ago that I even read one of the comments. It's like, how do we get out of this? We're in this crazy cycle. And 2020 really brought it to the forefront when people actually had time to sit home and take the garbage via Zoom from their boss. Okay, now the conflict resolution is via a laptop and not in person. And so it changes the dynamic to every single conversation that they have. So yeah, just my 2 cents. That's it.
Totally.
Well, that's the thing with when employees have now shown how effective they are at home, and actually more so because they don't have a commute, they don't have this, they don't have that,
and they don't have someone hanging over here talking over their shoulder.
or somebody, or having loud conference calls right next to them and all that good stuff, and some of the impetus to go back to the office for unless your job requires face-to-face. There's plenty of that, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about jobs that don't require it. Right. And for cosmetic reasons, you need to be back in the office. Just like restaurants make sure that people are seated by the window. So it looks like, oh, the place is crowded, versus like there's always money. Like Justin said, there is some thing underneath it. And that's why they're talking about like Gen Z people not applying to jobs that don't have money, they have salary attached to it and all the stuff, but they're being viewed as brats or ungrateful. I'm like, or maybe they're actually speaking up for what other people should be doing as well.
Yeah, totally. Maybe they should. And man, you guys really take it back. Like human psychology, humans are just kind of messed up, right? Because it's like we're still repeating ourselves with these like the crazy trauma that goes back to Tesla. Like, come on, people, we can do better. Like, but I want to see what some of y'all are saying. So I know Jenna was saying people are waking up and walking away. Employers aren't able to retain. It's true. That is happening a lot. I know Jenna was also saying here, I saw a post that also talked about why would an employer pay more or give a raise / promotion if they already see they can get additional work they want from you in your current position? Yes, that's true. Don't overwork.
That's capitalism. That's literally is capitalism, right? It's not right, but it's capitalism.
Well, yes. I mean, and you've seen numerous times examples where companies all of a sudden there'll be a favorite in the group, and that person gets all the high profile projects. They get the promotions, all those other stuff. So you just start working harder and harder and harder to get that. And in a narcissistic relationship, like all of a sudden they'll bring in their ex-partner. Oh, so-and-so called me. That's kind of weird. And start talking about them more and more and more. And then you start wondering, okay, what's the deal here? And you start working harder to please that person because you don't want to lose them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah. So Maricela, she said, it's so true. A company can be just as toxic as a relationship. They often hold you back and you sometimes don't even see, just like a bad partner. So it's so true. And we're out of time and we still have to do the guru of the week. So really quick, I'm going to give you my song, the guru of the week. Ooh, ooh, the guru of the week. And I'm going to do a little drum roll. I'm going to pull myself out of the screen. So it's just going to be you and Nina. Justin, Nina, I'm going to let you feed off each other and tell us, please, like, why should we go follow these people as this week's guru of the week? I'm going to pull myself out of the screen and put them up.
Oh, so close. There's my boy.
Do you want to go first?
Go ahead, Nina. Go ahead.
Okay. So there was a lot of people I could have chosen, and because I've met a lot of wonderful people on the platform the past year, as well as in my career and all that good stuff. I thought the one that would closely jive with this topic is Emily Griffith, who does this amazing work with grief counseling because of her own life story, and she posts very authentic, raw, like emotions. And if you've ever encountered grief, which unfortunately I have very recently, I mean, they resonate with you, and you know that you would get, and I've talked to her numerous times, and she's just a kind soul. And I know if you're in this, and grief it doesn't have to be like a parent or a child or anything like that close. It could be a grief of the loss of your, like just how your life was, or like loss of a job, loss of anything. It is still the same emotion, and it's still that same reaction in your body and how to move forward. And I think Emily would be a wonderful person to reach out to and learn more about how to move forward and try to find joy in your life again.
I like that. All right. So mine, my boy there, Mike Isom. So Mike, he actually holds a lot of titles with me. First and foremost, beyond anything, he's my friend. I've known Mike for about 7 years now, and he is probably one of the most transparent, honest human beings I've ever met in my life, which is why I'm a business partner with him. Mike is a registered nurse. He's the one that helped with a lot of the projects that we're doing. A lot of the patents that are owned, Mike owns them. He's the one that came up with the idea in that goofy mind of his that has now we've been able to create things that will promote change and actually promote change. So yeah, follow Mike, read on his story a little bit. And that guy, reach out to him. He'll talk toxicology with you all day long, for sure.
They sound like incredible people that I will be going to follow after this episode. And I hope all of you do too, because the feed in the different socials, they just get stagnant otherwise with the same old people. So go add some new people to your circle and expand your horizons. And now we need to give away some prizes. So let me tell you who's been entering to win these prizes. We've got 3 entries on high level, 2 entries on the headset, 2 on email, 1 on personal branding, and 3 on hashtag revenue. You literally have a few seconds to go enter to win. But real quick, hashtag revenue is a prize from you, Justin. Could you tell us a little bit about the prize you so kindly gave out tonight?
Yeah, so it's a copy of my book that I wrote in 2016. And then I'll throw a hat and a shirt, just kind of some racing stuff alongside with that. So not a huge value, but like I said, it's a decent read, and hopefully people will enjoy it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and give away some prizes. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go ahead and run this draw. So who is, oh no, is it like we'll have
And
to.
Jesse wins.
Yeah, seriously. There was one other name in there besides Reveting and myself, because I apparently was mentioning high level a lot in the comments. So whoever you are, that one other name, I'll go back and find you, and you win the swag pack. And let's see who wants to go next for the headset. We've got 2 entries on headset, so that's either going to Dan or who's that other one? We got Karen. And if you win, please go to reveting.com/win to give us your details. Karen, congratulations. You are the winner of the headset. We'll be reaching out to you either via DM, or if you could, go to reveting.com/win to give us your details, and we will reach out to you. Let's give away, let's see, what other prizes? Oh, of course, our guest prize. Hello. Let's give away the guest prize. Who is the winner of our guest prize? Actually, before I give guest prize, I'm going to give you all one more second to put hashtag revenue in the comments to win that, because we still have to give away hashtag email. It's either going to Mark Mack or Jenna. So Mark or Jenna, who's getting lavender? I'm not really sure, but oh, it's you, Mark Mack. Thanks for coming. It pays off when you show up. So we'll be reaching out to you, Mark. I think we have your information. Unless it's changed, then please fill out the reveting.com/win. Okay, but now for reals, I'm going to be giving out the hashtag revenue. Here we go. Oh, we got another entry in there. So it's Erica, Randy. Who else am I seeing? Jenna?
Ronald.
Is that who it was? Randy, you are the winner of prize 4. Congratulations to Randy Sue Deckard. She is an incredible person, and we have her details. So you don't need to fill out the form, Randy. We will connect you with Justin via email so he can send you the prize. But my husband raced and is building a drag car. Ah, yes. So I mean, we're over and we're through. But Justin, you got to give us like one line on this whole racing thing. Like, I've never met a racer, I don't think.
Well, it's It's like being in a shotgun fight in a closet. So I race off road. So it's I don't even know how to explain without showing pictures, but it's being in a truck that will do about 140 miles an hour across the desert. And then there's jumps involved, like you'll jump 200-300 feet. So while you're trying to compete and still win. So the racing side is, oh, it's so next level. I've been doing it for a very, very long time. Says the 138 broken bones, the 22 surgeries, the
Nice.
72 ounces of titanium that I have in my body. Yeah, love it.
Holy
Love
cow.
it. So
Wow.
one thing I was going to ask, everybody who entered for the book,
Yeah.
just send me their information. Everybody gets a free book.
Oh my gosh. That's
Well, I want one.
You get one too. I just need information.
Excellent.
awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, Justin, Nina, you guys were incredible tonight. Thank you so much for going deep on these topics, because there's so many people who don't talk about it, who are struggling with it, who may not even know they have these issues. But could both of you, to wrap up, let the audience know a little bit about who you help? So whether they are in your audience or not, how you help them, and if they are someone that potentially you could help, how could they reach out to you? We'll start with you, Justin.
Okay, so to reach out, a few of the easy ways: Instagram, DM. It's Justin Peck 49. Facebook is just Justin Peck, and then the same thing with LinkedIn. I do live in Utah, so if that helps, I know that there's a few Justin Pecks around. The irony behind the whole thing is the other two Justin Pecks that I know, one's a ballet dancer that has won Grammys, so he's really, really good at what he does. And the other Justin Peck is another race car driver that just won some national event. So I guess it must be the name. But with that, yes, please reach out. I mean, any of the stuff that I've talked about, whether it be the easy saliva that I saw someone has researched that, whether it be that, or whether it even be just a family member that just needs to talk to somebody. I'm here. I'm here for anybody across the United States. If someone needs me to come down and talk and speak, I'm here. I'm here to serve the purpose more than anything.
Really appreciate that, Justin. Thank you so much for all the great work you're doing. And Nina, could you do the same? Tell us how we can find you and who you help and how you help them.
Basically, you can find me on LinkedIn under my name. If there's another Nina Jagannathan, I will be stunned. It could happen. It could happen, but I haven't seen any yet. And so I don't have a doppelganger anywhere. However, and in terms of, if you feel stuck in your career, if you want to start writing more authentically, if you need a cheerleader or a coach or just somebody to listen to, come find me there. If you need a good laugh, I do stand up, or I'm starting to again. And if you're interested in that, I will DM you my TikTok channel, which I'm starting to bring up. So that will be, that will talk about more about this narcissism topic, as well as my very strange observations on life.
Well, now you got to drop the TikTok handle.
Okay. All right. You asked. So it comes from Apu from The Simpsons, his nickname for his wife that he's only used a couple of times. And the first time it came up, Justin, if you know it, like 10
I
points.
feel like I should know this.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good trivia question. He nicknames his wife Chutney Butt.
Yep.
So there is a Chutney Butt Media on TikTok, and I'm going to start posting on there. And it's going to go more into detail on, like I said, on narcissism, and especially in the corporate space, as well as my snarkiness and bitterness.
I can't wait to go follow, and I hope the rest of you do too. Justin, Nina, thank you again so much for joining. This was an incredible episode, and we will be in touch afterwards with post-production clips and material and all that stuff. But until then, you'll be seeing WinsDay across all the channels, but we'll be posting about it for the next few months here, this particular episode. So thank you all for being here live, and we'll see you next week. Talk
Thanks,
to you all
Jess.
later. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.